we need to talk about it. We need the people around us to know I'm doing this because of climate change. And then other people go, oh, maybe I should be doing something too, whatever's appropriate for me and my lifestyle.
Dr. Lekelia Jenkins, or Kiki if I may, you are an award-winning marine sustainability scientist, a science dance choreographer, and an associate professor at the Arizona State University at the School for the Future of Innovation and Society. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me here.
Your current project strives to reduce human rights abuses and to address environmental concerns in the fishing industry. The project is about electronic monitoring and how it could address these concerns. Could you please explain what exactly electronic monitoring is and how it can address these concerns?
Yes, happy to do so. So electronic monitoring is a system of onboard cameras, and typically they have been used in the past to monitor what catch is coming on board the boat. That can be both the target catch, what they're intending to catch, and things that are incidental capture. So if they happen to be interacting with sea turtles, marine mammals, other threatened, endangered, or protected species. The cameras will help monitor that. There's been an increased movement towards using machine learning and AI to help with identification. Because those systems already exist on some fishing fleets around the world, recently large NGOs have begun to realize perhaps we can use them to address human rights abuses. Human rights abuses really came into the fore in the past 5 or 6 years. We're recognizing that modern day slavery happens aboard fishing boats. We have underage workers, we have unsafe working conditions in terms of long hours, not correct safety equipment. And so the idea is, since we already have these cameras, can we take them from the fish and from the water to the deck and monitor who's on those boats? Are they treated fairly and properly? And there are pilot projects that are beginning around the world, particularly in the Pacific Ocean and Asia, to try this out. There's promise there, but part of the conflict and the issue is the right to privacy. And so you have the human right to privacy then being held with the human rights for proper and safe working conditions. And how do you take care of both those rights at the same time?
Do you have any recommendations for consumers in terms of conservation efforts?
Yes. So in terms of fisheries, I would say there's two things that consumers can do that is an easy lift that makes a difference. The first is if you are at a restaurant and you are about to order seafood of any sort, to just ask your waiter, is this sustainably caught? They may or may not know the answer. They may or may not have correct information. However, just asking the question sends a signal to the restaurant that our consumers care about this, so maybe we should start caring about this. The other thing is that depending where you are in the world, there are various organizations that will do, in the US, it's called Seafood Watch, for example, and they'll tell you what fish are deemed as sustainable. They tend to rate them maybe green through red, and familiarizing yourself with that, at least for the fish you know you like. So if you really like salmon or you really like snow crab, know about those, know where they should be sourced from so that you can be an educated consumer when you do get a response from the waiter to know, okay, that's a fish that I'm willing to buy. Or if you're in the supermarket and trying to make that choice, knowing, okay, a fish caught from this location with that gear is a good fish to buy. Those are the two things that anyone can do and that really would make a difference.
Thank you very much. How does dance-based science communication fight the apathy media consumers face in terms of information overload, especially in the field of marine sustainability communication?
So science dance really stands out in this world where information has become very disembodied. We look at our phones and they're just constant videos and all these things. We are getting out of our bodies. Virtual reality, all of that is becoming outside of ourselves. Science dance grounds people back into our bodies. And science dance, at least the way I do it, is not just one person moving, but it's a space where someone has permission to touch another person, where I could say, like, is it okay, Mary Jo, if I put my hand on your wrist?
Yeah, it is.
And I do that. And like, as soon as I said that, your face changed. You smiled and you reached out to me. We don't have enough of those experiences in this world, and people need them. And when they have it, it changes their whole biochemistry. And suddenly they remember the experience and the interaction, but they also remember what you coupled it with. And if the thing that allowed them to have human contact was you're talking about science, you're talking about sea turtles, they'll never forget it. As opposed to the TikTok video where they go, that was cool. They heart it and then it's gone. I don't know if you heart TikTok video, whatever you do, thumbs up it, it's gone after a half an hour. This lasts because it impacts us in our bodies in this really positive way and in a way that we don't have enough of in our society.
That's very true. Thank you very much. What are the biggest challenges that marine life faces today, and what is the role of the United States on tackling this global issue?
Yeah. I would say very clearly the biggest challenge are climate change related impacts on the ocean. There's a suite of those things. So we have ocean warming, which is damaging our corals. We have sea level rising, which is putting more and more land underwater. We have ocean acidification. So the oceans are becoming more acid to the extent that animals that have exoskeletons, so crabs and clams, they're literally being dissolved by how acidic ocean waters are becoming. This is what they're facing that's by far the largest across the world. There's a scale. So at that international level, we need to continue to push to be a leader in tackling our greenhouse gas emissions, not only in making these international agreements, but then abiding by them and the timelines. And then all the way down to the individual person level, we all need to recognize that we're a part of this. No one can be perfect. To be sustainable, honestly, it takes money. It takes able-bodiedness. We're not always in a position. But are there one or two things that you can do? And that may be different for every person. Maybe you can afford an electronic car, but if you can't, maybe you decide, I'm going to buy secondhand clothes because that means there's less production that's happening and I can reuse this. We all can make a decision that's based on what our resources are, but doing it consciously go, this will help the environment and this is how I'm contributing. And then once you've made that choice, we need to talk about it. We need the people around us to know I'm doing this because of climate change. And then other people go, oh, maybe I should be doing something too, whatever's appropriate for me and my lifestyle.